Hey, Commanders fans, get ready because today we've got exclusive news about our team, and you don't want to miss a thing. So, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to be the first to hear everything, and of course, leave a like to strengthen our support and show that we're all true fans. We're committed to bringing you the latest updates, news, and everything that goes on behind the scenes at the Commanders. So, without further ado, let's check out today's news. The Commanders have a big problem quietly brewing behind Jayden Daniels. This could lead to more roster changes. Jayden Daniels is the superstar quarterback tasked with leading a new era of prosperity. But the Washington Commanders may have a problem quietly brewing behind the dynamic signal caller. Daniels took the field for the first and only time this preseason on Monday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a fleeting contribution that didn't include a single pass attempt, but he whetted the fans' appetites by running for a touchdown before heading to the sideline. And that's where the complications began. The Commanders need a better QB3 to fill in behind Jayden Daniels and Marcus Mariota. Josh Johnson, who has played for more clubs than anyone else in NFL history, seemed shaky and indecisive in command of the team. He failed to execute his progressions effectively and was hesitant to take risks. This was a setback for the veteran, but Sam Hartman didn't fare much better. The former undrafted free agent from Notre Dame simply doesn't seem to be up to the required standard. Hartman has technical flaws and doesn't see the field very well. Building a strong bond with Daniels is likely enough for the practice squad, but his chances of making the 53-man roster seem slim. And then there's Marcus Mariota. The veteran backup is firmly entrenched as the second option behind Daniels once again. However, he hasn't practiced much in recent weeks and hasn't played in any preseason games due to an injury. This isn't exactly ideal if the Commanders need to call on him at some point. Daniels is a tough player. He barely missed time last season despite breaking a rib against the Carolina Panthers. Perhaps the Commanders are being overly cautious with Mariota, but the need to find a better option for the third spot in a worst-case scenario is becoming increasingly desirable. Adam Peters will be closely monitoring developments. The league's final cuts are approaching, so alternative options will be readily available. What the general manager needs to determine is whether they would be an improvement over Johnson and Hartman. That's a pretty low bar, considering their efforts during the preseason. Hartman is younger, so he could even be on the practice squad, but there's no guarantee. Johnson's time in the league is running out, so he may not get another opportunity elsewhere if the Commanders don't grant him a deferment. Commanders WR Terry McLaurin is unlikely to get the contract he wants. In recent months, wide receiver Terry McLaurin has been focused on securing a contract extension with the Washington Commanders. Given recent developments, it seems unlikely that this saga will end as he hopes. McLaurin has been a pillar of the Commanders' offense, establishing himself as one of the NFL's most consistent wide receivers. He has also proven to be a strong complement to quarterback Jayden Daniels, recording a career-high 13 touchdowns in 2024. Now, in the final year of his contract, McLaurin is eager to sign a deal comparable to the current NFL wide receiver market. However, Washington has shown some reluctance to make a substantial offer. McLaurin has tried to reach his desired price, but may need to consider a compromise as the regular season approaches. NFL source discusses Terry McLaurin amid ongoing extension negotiations. During the latest episode of the Athletic Scoop City podcast, insider Diana Rossini provided the latest on McLaurin and the Commanders. As has been the case for weeks, the two sides remain far apart when it comes to an extension. This is coming from a source close to the situation, Rossini said. Nothing significant has changed. That also generally indicates that neither side has changed their positions. Delving deeper into the matter, Rossini reflected on conversations she's had with league insiders about McLaurin's pay. Based on the overall outlook, it doesn't appear the star wide receiver would get the deal he wants in Washington or anywhere else in the apocalyptic scenario he's traded. Every decision-maker in football always hovers between that $27 and $28 million, she continued. I'm having a hard time finding anyone who's given me the number I think McLaurin's camp is giving. I'm not saying they shouldn't try, I just think most teams are looking at this through Adam Peters' eyes right now. The biggest obstacle in these discussions is McLaurin's age. While he's been extremely productive for the Commanders throughout his career, he's approaching his 30th birthday in September. Because of this, the front office is hesitant to make him a lucrative offer. McLaurin has been making progress physically, having recently come off the inactive list. Commanders signed former Seahawks player to strengthen offensive line. After the second preseason game, the Washington Commanders decided to further strengthen their offensive line by signing a veteran. The team signed offensive tackle George Fant, a player who brings versatility and immediate depth to the roster and could play an important role in protecting rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. Fant, 33, arrives at a crucial time as the franchise has been looking to build a more solid offensive line after last season's struggles. The move also represents a reunion of sorts. Left tackle Laramie Tunsil, now with the Commanders, previously played alongside Fant for the Houston Texans, and that chemistry could be valuable on the field. Offensive line a priority in the offseason. General Manager Adam Peters made it clear from the start of the offseason that improving the offensive line would be a top priority. The team invested heavily in this area, both in veteran signings and in the draft, selecting young talent Josh Connerly Jr. with the 29th overall pick. Fant's arrival reinforces this strategy. At a position where durability and versatility are crucial, it never hurts to have more depth. Injuries are a routine part of the NFL, and the Commanders know this well after facing several setbacks last year. Having Fant on the roster means having a tackle capable of playing on both sides of the line without significant loss of quality, which increases Jaden Daniels' security in his first year as a starter. Fant's experience and versatility. Throughout his 8 NFL seasons, Fant has proven himself to be a reliable player. He has played 2,154 snaps at left tackle and 2,092 at right tackle, practically balancing his experience between the two roles. Last season, he played for the Seattle Seahawks as a reserve, appearing in just 30 snaps. However, in 2022, he started 915 offensive plays, allowing only 3 sacks and 4 hits to the quarterback, solid numbers for the role. This versatility is what most pleases coach Dan Quinn, who has emphasized in interviews the need for players capable of adapting to injuries and unexpected changes. With Fant available, the team gains flexibility to reorganize the line. Players like Andrew Wiley could lock in at guard, while the return of Sam Cosmi and Brandon Coleman, currently dealing with injury issues, could allow for even more efficient rotations. Strategic reinforcement before the season. George Fant's arrival shouldn't be seen as just another signing, but rather as part of a larger plan to transform the offensive line into a strength of the team. Peters and Quinn have been working diligently to prevent protection issues from compromising the offense again.